Bada bing, bada boom. You know what it is. Let's go. Geeks and Geeks back. Picks and predictions. We're going to San Antonio. Cheeto Vera versus Corey Sandhagen. Let's get it. Shout out last week. We went on a 10-fight win streak. That was quite the tear. We were running through them. Didn't really end the strongest, but hey, man, we got them in. So let's keep it going this week. We got a couple of sleepers here. It's gonna be a electric crowd over there in Texas. Let's get it going. Prelims. This is the first fight. Tamiris Vidal versus Haley Cowan. This fight was pushed back a few weeks ago. Haley medically withdrew. Something to do with like a cyst or some kind of grown hair or something.
Ovarian cyst.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. So I'm taking Vidal to be 100% in this matchup and not battling anything. Probably pretty pissed too that Haley pulled out. So yeah, that's my pick by decision. What do you got, Dano?
Yeah, I like it. I'm definitely not going to pick Cowan in this one. I'm not a huge fan of when people do this, when they are scheduled to fight one week, cut the weight, get down, and then they get moved just to a couple weeks later. So they can't really get their body back under them, and then they're cutting again. On top of that, her opponent is a pretty big girl, Vidal. She's pretty strong. She's good with the kicks, good with the grappling. So I'm going to take Vidal, and decision is not bad either.
Let's go. Front kick. What do you got?
I'm riding with Vidal as well. She's at an underdog price right now, so probably snatch that up early before people start switching up.
Value. Goosey, we got.
Vidal, we're going sweep here. She's 24, better resume, more explosive in the octagon. Haley Cowan definitely has a little bit of sus activity, a few bad L's, and I think that Vidal gets it done. To be honest, I could see her overpowering her, getting a finish in this one. Under 2.5 wouldn't be the worst play, but I'm pretty locked in on Vidal here.
Couple underdogs hit for us last week on the female side. Jennifer Maya came through, and then I guess we didn't really hit it. Juliana Miller blew a -500 favorite line she was at. So always value. Let's move into the next one. This is a flyweight scrap. This is one of my favorite guys coming off the Contender Series. Vinicius Salvador, 14-4. This guy has so many knockouts. I think he's got like 13 or 14 knockouts. Clean wipe KOs too, not TKOs. And he just fights recklessly. He throws haymakers. It's calculated haymakers, though. He's like a technical brawler. Then you got Victor Ultimarano on the other side, 11-2. He's got that Mexican fighting spirit. He's just very well-rounded. He showed us in his last fight. His grappling is very high level. That's going to be the question in this one, because if they're just straight up on the feet, Vinicius is going to have a lot of openings. Victor Altamirano has been hit, known to get into little scraps. But, if Victor can get these takedowns, that's going to be a huge part of getting through the 15 minutes with Vinicius, because Vinicius, if you stand on the feet with him too long, you will get caught, and something's going to hit hard. So I'm going to take Victor Altamirano to just have a more well-rounded game plan here. But this one kind of hurts my soul because I love Vinicius Salvador, and a big KO is definitely something I'm down to see. So, Goosey, what are you doing right off rip on this one?
So in this one, I was kind of leaning Salvador. Then you look at the resume, 13 knockouts, 1 submission, no decisions. And then Altamirano, on the other hand, he's never been knocked out. So right there, stylistically, guy gets a lot of knockouts. A guy's good at not getting knocked out. He's got a few other ways to win. I'm going to pick Altamirano here. Also, Salvador on the Contender Series, he had an absolute war with, let me get the name here. Shannon Ross. And Shannon Ross also made it into the UFC because he fought that with appendicitis, actually. So a little bit of a takeaway, but Vinicius Salvador, obviously very dangerous if you're getting 13 knockouts in your career. Just a young 26. But I think Altamirano is going to be able to mix it up a little bit. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets sparked, but I think a grappling path to victory is the best one for him here. So I'm going to pick Victor Altamirano.
Yeah, and emphasis on 13 knockouts at flyweight, bro. At flyweight. All right, Dana, what do you got?
I'm riding you guys, but I'm gonna keep it pretty simple, and I'm just gonna fade the Contender Series guy. Um, even though it's not too much of a fade, I think it's pretty much pick 'em odds. Salvador's a little bit lower, a little bit more as a favorite, I should say. So classic time of when Contender Series guys debut, got some hype around him, going up against a not too much of a vet, but a guy who's been there for a couple fights. Ultimarano, he got a nice win in his last time out. So I'm gonna ride with him just like you guys.
Front kick, what do you got?
Yeah, I kind of like same page as you guys. I like Altamirano in this one. Daniel De Silva, he's on this card as well. He's a dangerous dude. Likes to get things done in the first. And Vinicius, I think that as long as his only way to finish he needs to finish this fight to win. I don't think he's gonna win by he gets hit too much, and Altamirano's too slick, and he's accurate. He doesn't just he's not too much of a brawler. He's very technical, but I like Altamirano in this one.
Yeah, this one's gonna have us on the edge of our seats because I could see, some big flurries happening. It's gonna get sketchy, but let's get it. Victor with the sweep. Ferda. We're moving into the next one. This is a lightweight scrap. Manuel Torres, 13-2-0. I think they call him El Loco. Coming out against Trey Ogden, 16-5. I'm taking Manuel Torres in this one. Trey Ogden, we all know the whole situation that's been going down with James Krause's gym and whatnot. Trey Ogden is the owner of the complex that's like down the street or in the neighborhood or whatever. So that's where all of those guys have gone from James Krause. He's been a super busy man the last few months. It's a lot on his plate. Usually, Manuel Torres, you see a younger guy. This is kind of like what Danny was saying, the Contender Series fade. But I really like Loco Torres coming into the UFC. This kid's got some serious combinations, and when he lets him eat, it's scary stuff. So I don't think Trey Ogden's gonna be able to stay away from the pressure and the pace for the full 15 minutes. I think he's gonna get caught here. So and not to mention the leg kicking game, Torres can keep up. So that's where Ogden usually has success chopping dudes down. So I'm liking Torres' checking kicks and getting on the inside with combinations. So Manuel Torres inside the distance. Front kick, what do you got?
Torres is a dangerous dude. I'm gonna take Torres. I don't really like Trey Ogden in this situation just because he gets hit a bunch and he really needs to work for his takedowns. He shoots a bunch and not very successful. Torres, a very dangerous guy standing up and on the ground. I just like I'm liking Torres by inside the distance on this one.
Goosey, what do you got?
I'm gonna be on the other side, mainly being that this was a coin flip fight for me. I think both guys definitely have their path. Torres is vicious on the feet. He throws some good bombs. Ogden, on the other hand, he's trying to get the fight to the ground. And Ogden also, he's fought some good guys with heavy hands, never been knocked out. All right. I faded him his last fight. He was about a plus 200 underdog. Surprised me. I got to respect the game at this point. Also, Torres, both of his losses are by submission. Ogden, most of his wins are by submission. Granted, Torres has gotten submitted twice via leg submissions. I think a heel hook and a knee bar. Ogden's doing most of his work with the rear naked choke. Either way, I feel like Ogden will be more comfortable on the ground. I'm not sold on Torres's gas tank throwing as hard as he does. So if Ogden his chin can hold up, he gets it to around 2 and 3. Dog money. I'm gonna pick him here.
Dana, what do you got?
I'm riding with you front kick. I like Torres in this one. I like his long, lanky frame. He uses it well. He uses kicks well. And I know that he's good with submissions, Torres. He's got like some guillotines and stuff. So I'm gonna call it by guillotine because like Goose was saying, Ogden is gonna want to get this to the ground. Torres has got those long and lengthy arms to where I could see him piecing up Ogden. Ogden might panic, might want to just switch the game plan up in general, start shooting for some takedowns, and if Torres can catch him, those arms will snatch something up. So I'm riding guillotine Ferda.
You.
Let's get it. We're moving into the next one. We got another flyweight scrap. CJ Vergara, 10-4, coming out against Daniel De Silva, 11-4. See, this is one of those ones like last weekend we had Makwan Amirkhani. And that's a guy that you seriously can bank your whole life on him gassing out after 5 minutes. Daniel De Silva, his last like 3 fights has been, basically the exact same thing. Like he looks so good in the first round, and then they just hit this fucking wall, and it's like, gone, smell ya. It's like they're just waiting to be finished in a sense. CJ Vergara, I'm just gonna trust his gas tank in this one. I think that he's gonna be youthful, athletic enough to avoid getting finished in that first round. The grappling exchanges are what scares me. CJ Vergara does like to shoot some takedowns. So getting caught in a gilly, getting caught in something stupid, definitely on the table in this. But give me CJ to get through half the fight and be able to really impose his will in the last half of the fight. So give me that. Goosey, what do you got?
Hard for me to really put a lot of faith in CJ Vergara, but I am going to pick him here. To this point in the UFC, he's fought some dogs. He took Ode Osborne to decision, very dangerous. Took Clayton Rodriguez to a decision. That's pretty impressive. He won a split against Clayton Rodriguez. And then Tatsuro Taira took him to the last minute of the second round to get a submission off. So I think that he will be able to get to that gas threshold of Daniel De Silva. I'm anticipating a round 2 finish for Mr. CJ Vergara in this one. But De Silva is very dangerous early. I just think Vergara is going to manage it. And like I said, round 2.
Dano.
I'm going against my head in this one. I'm going to pick Daniel De Silva, and here's why. I think he's better than what he's shown in his past couple fights. And the reason I say that is because he only has 4 losses and he's on a 3-fight losing streak. I don't think he's going to go 0 for 4 and get booted from the UFC. I think this is one of those ones where he'll grind out a decision. Might not be pretty, because Vergara is a tough dude, but I just don't see him going 0 for 4 and getting booted. I'm really, like you've talked about many times, CEO, I think he's fighting for his career right here. Starting out very slow. Round 2 loss, round 1 loss, round 1 loss for Daniel De Silva. So he is very young. He's got to be fixing up some stuff. Definitely not going to bet on it, but my pick is going to be Daniel De Silva in this one.
I feel you. It's definitely like a last call type situation. The only thing is, I forgot this even happened. He had a fight against Vinicius Salvador, and it got canceled because remember he missed weight so bad. He botched weight cut. I forgot that even happened. Front kick. What do you got?
Give me Vergara because, yeah, just for the same reason you guys said. I'm loving the play for round 2. But yeah, with Lacerda / De Silva, he's just dangerous in the first, and nothing I could say you guys haven't said already. But yeah, give me Vergara.
All right, we're moving into the next boot. We have got Trevin Giles at 170 pounds fighting Preston Parsons. Giles is 15-4, Parsons 10-3. I'm taking Trevin Giles because when I think of Preston Parsons, he was this upcoming, prospect, and I did, have some hope for him. But then I watched what Daniel Rodriguez kind of did to him, and D-Rod's not exactly at that level. He got Neil Magni'd. We all saw that, But one thing D-Rod does do is stuff takedowns and throw good hands. And I think Trevin Giles is almost a perfect fit in this one to do the same thing. So I think Trevin Giles has got a little bit more sting on his punches than D-Rod in a sense. I think D-Rod's more of like a precision accuracy touch to kind of guy. I think Trevin Giles is going to land some serious hands on Preston Parsons, who's still a little hesitant in his stand-up game. He really needs to get this to the mat. And even if he gets it down there, I think that it'll last like a round or maybe 2. I think Trevin Giles is going to catch him on the feet. He's going to, isolate him on the feet at some point in this fight, and it's going to end with some violence. So give me Trevin Giles by KO. What do you got, Front Kick?
I'm liking Trevin Giles as well. The dude, he's just a more seasoned vet. I think Parsons, he's 1-1 in the UFC. Trevin Giles got 10 bouts. And I just like the vet mentality here. I think he knows what he's got to do to get the job done, and I trust him to stick to his game plan and get the dub. But yeah, I mean his losses too, formidable opponents, Michael Morales, Dricus du Plessis. So he's got a win over Delize, so that looks good nowadays. Give me Giles.
Yeah, that Giles Dricus fight was insane too. What do you got, Goosey?
I'm on the other side. I'm taking Preston Parsons, and to be honest, I feel pretty decent about it. Stylistically, Trevin Giles does his best work when it's a very technical matchup. He likes to, if you look through his fights, have a low output. He's bringing like 20 to 30 strikes a fight versus Preston Parsons, who's going to be in his face. I think he's going to overwhelm him and then start to eat into that gas tank late. Welterweight Trevin Giles hasn't been great off the weight cut. And then the D-Rod loss for Parsons, he was on very short notice, did some good work early, and he was fighting a prime pre-injury D-Rod, so I will respect that L. I think that Preston Parsons, he got it back against Evan Elder. That was a very good fight. He put on a very good pace in that one, and I expect him to keep it rolling against Trevin Giles in this one. Give me Preston Parsons.
Dano, what do you got?
I'm all over Giles in this one. I'm looking at Giles's record. He's been fighting dogs since he's been in the UFC. He was fighting Mearshart early on, James Krause early on. Who else? Dricus, who yes, he did get knocked out by Dricus, and I guess this kind of plays in Dricus fighting style. But Trevin Giles was giving it to Dricus early on, was piecing him up, hitting him pretty well. He does have a win over Roman Delice.
Robbery.
That is aging real well. And then he ran into Dricus and Michael Morales, who are dogs. He did get the win over Kosei recently, looking a lot better. Looks like he's switching up how he's kind of fighting a little bit. And he's also, what I really like seeing, he just had a grappling match with Mike Malott in December around New Year's, which this kind of tells me he's really planning for this Parsons fight, because Parsons is gonna want to get this to the ground. It shows that Trevin Giles like, all right, got to work on the grappling, got to work on the ground game. His hands are good. We know his hands are good. So if that grappling hasn't improved from the Kosei fight, I really like him in this one. And I don't mind him inside distance either.
Fair enough. Let's get right into the next one. We got Steven Peterson, the Ocho, 19-10, coming out against Lucas Alexander, 7-3. This is going down at 145. I'm taking Lucas Alexander just because, Steven Peterson, definitely a seasoned vet. We're gonna stay polite and further on the channel. I think that any prospect that has a little slither of hope, they should beat Steven Peterson. I'll leave it at that. So I have a little bit of hope in Lucas Alexander. I think he'll at least, battle through the bottom of the 45 division, which I believe is Steven Peterson. So, give me a decision win, because the Ocho's a tough guy. What do you got, Dano?
I'm going to take Steven Peterson for the memes, because I think that, yes, he's not debuting Lucas Alexander. He did debut against someone, forgetting his name, but it's kind of one of those. Yes, Joanderson Brito, right. And so they go, all right, short notice, come in the UFC, we'll give you another fight. Here's Steven Peterson. There's a good chance that he will beat Steven Peterson, but Steven Peterson is very tough, very durable. And when I think of this fight, it just gives me flashbacks to that Nate Landwehr Onama fight, where I could see Lucas Alexander beating the crap out of Peterson first round, and then Peterson is just durable enough to withstand and let Alexander gas himself out. Then Peterson takes over later in the round. So I'm taking that. I'm going to take Steven Peterson. by decision with this one. Not too confident, but Steve Peterson's always a fun guy to watch fight, so that's my pick.
Definitely fun to watch. Front kick, what do you got?
I'm just gonna take the over in this one. I think it's gonna be a brawl. Steven Peterson's hard to finish. And but yeah, I'm just gonna take the over in this one. I think it could go either way.
Wicked smart. Goosey, what do you got?
Not getting the best read on this fight. I haven't seen a lot of Lucas Alexander, to be honest with you. I don't think that this fight will be anything stylistically close to what we saw in the Joe Anderson Brito fight. I'm gonna take a chance on Lucas Alexander, like CEO said, having a little something to him here. I think he goes out and gets it done because as tough as Steven Peterson is, Chase Hooper was kind of going back and forth with him a little bit. That was a close fight, mostly stand up. So Lucas Alexander, come on, dog. I'm gonna pick you here. He's like plus 150. I don't think Steven Peterson should be minus 175.
Facts. All right, moving into the next fight. This one's definitely an interesting scrap here. It's the featured build of the prelims, Daniel Pineda coming out against Tucker Lutz. This is another 45er scrap. Pineda is 27-14-0. Tucker Lutz 12-2-0. Super interesting. Tucker Lutz, let's see, his last time out was a loss to Pat Sabatini. Not the worst loss right there, but before that, Kevin Aguilar, not the best. Sherrard Blackledge, 2 Contender Series fights. So not the most experience, for Tucker. On the other hand, we got all the experience in the world in Daniel Pineda. Judging upon the stand-ups, I'm going to take Pineda in this one. I know he has a loss to Cub Swanson back in 2020, and he's been grappling since. But I think he's going to be good for it here. He's durable, and his grappling's elite. I think he's going to get a win over Tucker Lutz in this one. Just XP is going to play a bigger factor in this. What do you got? Front kick, lead us off.
I'm sad to say I am fading that pick. I'm picking Tucker Lutz. Lacerda. Pineda is 37, Tucker Lutz 28. So a bit of an age gap there. I don't like to see that. Tucker Lutz, he's only been finished one time, and that was his first fight ever. Pro, not amateur. But dude's a winner. He's been winning. Pat Sabatini, I hold him high. High regards for him, but give me Tucker Lutz to get the job done.
Goosey, what do you got?
Going with Tucker Lutz here. What do you see on the UFC fights when a fighter is 8 years younger? They go, oh, fighter with the 8+ year advantage, greater than 65% of the time they're winning these fights. That's an advanced analytic going into it too. Pineda gasses out pretty badly. I don't think Tucker Lutz has the best gas tank, but I do think he's got enough in the tank to put it on Pineda in the second and third. If he does lose the first, I think the first will be close. After that, Lutz probably starts taking over. So give me Tucker Lutz here.
What do you got, Dano?
Yeah, I'm with Goose and Fish. And after looking at this, I'm looking at Daniel Pineda's record, and he just gets finished a lot. He's got 9 losses by finish, 3 TKO, 6 submission. And he hasn't fought in the UFC at least since 2020. He's had some grappling matches which have been draws. He's had 2 draws in 2020, 2021, which is odd. But I'm gonna just trust in Tucker Lutz. What Fish was saying makes sense. What Goose was saying makes sense. I like Tucker Lutz. I think he is a smart individual himself. Pineda is one of those guys where it seems like he gets a lot of finishes, yes, but he does get finished. And as Fish was saying, Tucker Lutz is pretty relentless out there and pretty durable. So I could see him getting something later on in the fight. I would say if the over like 1.5 is a good line, I think that's a really good one to hit, just because I think this will go later in the rounds, but I think this one will finish inside the distance for Tucker Lutz.
Let's go. Those are the prelims, picks, and predictions. Stay tuned to the sheet. Sheet's been fire. Hit a 407. Jack Shore round 2. Man, we all over this sheet. All right. We'll talk to you. Tune in for the main card vid.